The Turtle Beach VelocityOne Race is a decent upgrade for sim racers without a direct drive wheelbase, but it falls short in terms of performance and quality compared to its direct competition, despite its compelling feature set. Just a few short years ago, sim racers looking for a new direct drive wheelbase had limited options, with only a select few companies offering products that boasted this technology. Happily, that's no longer the case. Turtle Beach is the latest brand to enter the sim racing market, with its VelocityOne race wheel and pedal set in an attempt to compete with the likes of Fanatec, Thrustmaster, Moser, and most recently Logitech in this hardcore market. Its debut direct drive offering includes a wheel, a wheelbase, and a set of pedals, and is compatible with Xbox and PC, coming in at a pretty reasonable £629.99 or $649.99. On paper, it looks like decent value, particularly when you consider Logitech's G Pro racing wheel comes in at £999, the same in dollars, and doesn't come with a set of pedals included. It's also competing with Fanatec's CSL DD Ready to Race bundles, of which the McLaren Elite bundle is the closest spec-wise. That's priced at €799.80, which is roughly translated to £684 or $855. So, how does Turtle Beach's first attempt at a direct drive racing wheel stack up? Well, on the surface at least, the Turtle Beach VelocityOne Race looks pretty darn cool. The included wheel features hand-stitched leather, with the wheelbase sporting an aggressive design thanks to the small screen which Turtle Beach calls a digital race management display that sits nicely atop the base and can be used to change wheel settings on the fly. There's also a swanky control unit featuring an array of buttons and switches that can be attached to either side of the wheelbase. But when you take a closer look at some of the materials used, the lower price point starts to make sense because the build quality doesn't quite stack up against the competition. There's a lot of plastic, including the majority of the wheelbase, most of the buttons, and a significant portion of the wheel itself, which has been dressed in a faux carbon fiber design. But you're not fooling anyone, Turtle Beach, because it's most definitely still plastic. Saying that it feels cheap would be far too harsh a statement, but it doesn't exactly scream quality, particularly compared to the CNC machined aluminium wheelbases that Fanatec offers. Concerns over build quality were a running theme during my time with the VelocityOne Race. With the first unit I tested, the power brick developed a fault during testing and had to be replaced, which, look, it can happen. But after a day with the new power brick, the wheelbase began performing strangely, including the menu within the digital race management display having a mind of its own, in that the selector flicked through the menu options at breakneck speed without any input, making it unusable. With the second unit, these problems weren't present, but there was a new one in that very intermittently, the left paddle shifter didn't register my input. In a game like F1 23, where you're often making over 100 gear shifts a lap, I sometimes lost tenths of a second in a single corner with the downshift not registering at seemingly random intervals. Look, potentially all of these issues that I faced could be explained by misuse by a previous user, damage in transit, or just plain unlucky fault, which does happen with complex pieces of kit. But there's no denying that two separate units having different issues raises questions about the product's overall build quality. With the control unit attached, there are frankly ridiculous 32 buttons or switches, plus 2 analog shifters and 2 analog paddles that provide 43 mappings that can be customized using the Turtle Beach VelocityOne Tune app on PC, Xbox, iOS, and Android. And it's a good job too, because I had to manually map buttons and control configurations on all of the games I tested the wheel with, as for some reason none of these games have a default configuration set up for this wheel yet. Now look, for someone who's done a lot of this kind of thing, spent a lot of time in the menus, it wasn't a big deal, but for all you beginners out there, it could take a while to get the controls where you need them. Attaching the VelocityOne Race to my cockpit was a breeze, thanks to the pre-drilled holes in the base and pedals. And for those without a dedicated frame, there's a desk clamp and rubber pads included so that you can use it on a desk, although I wouldn't recommend doing that with a direct drive wheelbase due to the forces it can generate. It must be said, considering the price point, the VelocityOne Race is packed full of compelling features. Not only does it come with a direct drive wheelbase that delivers up to 7.2 Newton meters of torque, but you also get 2,600 degrees of wheel rotation, pedals with a load cell braking system, a digital dashboard that provides real-time race telemetry and allows you to change settings on the fly, mag shift paddle shifters, and a modular control unit for extra customization. Oh, and the wheel and pedals feature lights that can be any colour you like, which makes all the difference to your driving. Joking aside, the digital dashboard is the standout feature of the VelocityOne Race and is unique at this price point. In fact, the only product that comes with a comparable screen that I've seen is the Thrustmaster T818 Ferrari SF1000 Simulator Bundle, but that's £999 or $1,099, and the screen is on the wheel and not the actual wheelbase. The ability to change settings like torque force, dead zone, wheel rotation, pedal sensitivity, lighting, button mapping, and even entire profiles on the fly is genuinely helpful, as it allows you to stay in the zone without having to minimize the game. There's also a 3.5mm audio port to connect your headset, which is handy if you don't have a Bluetooth headset and your wheel is on the other side of the room to your Xbox console or PC. The included load cell pedals can also be adjusted to suit your particular driving style or positioning, with the pedal resistance able to be tailored by adjusting the coils. You can also move the pedal plates and even completely stow the clutch pedal if it's something you don't need. One of the smartest features is the inclusion of a K-drive stop button on the modular control unit, which instantly cuts power to the wheelbase. For beginners or complete novices, this button could prevent injury, particularly given the force this wheelbase can generate. Nice work, Turtle Beach. Look, comparing direct drive versus belt-driven racing wheels is a bit like comparing a 4K Blu-ray to a 720p DVD. Direct drive motors are of much higher quality and can deliver much higher levels of force feedback through the wheel than a belt or gear-driven wheel ever could, both in terms of pure torque but also the fidelity of the feedback too. With its custom-designed 7.2 Nm direct drive motor, the VelocityOne Race is no different. It's a significant upgrade compared to more entry-level wheel and pedal sets like the Logitech G923 or G920 or the Thrustmaster T248. If you're upgrading from a belt or gear-driven racing wheel and pedal set and have never used direct drive regularly, this would feel like a big step up in terms of overall feedback, torque and fidelity. The load cell pedals also included in this bundle are impressive considering the price, and the sensitivity can be customized for each pedal using the digital dashboard menu. But unfortunately, where the Turtle Beach VelocityOne Race falls short is in its force feedback delivery. Compared to other direct drive wheelbases I've tested, the fidelity and consistency is not quite at the same level as Fanatec and Logitech's offerings. I tested the wheel with F123, Assetto Corsa Competizione and Forza Motorsport, and although I was impressed with the sheer torque output, there were times when I felt almost disconnected from the road surface, and it dented my confidence to fully lean on the wheel in those tricky moments. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint these exact moments as they can change depending on the track and the car, the unique situations you find yourself in, but after testing it across a variety of titles, it could do with some fine tuning of its feedback delivery. It often gave me too much feedback when I didn't particularly need it, and not enough when I really did. It's frustrating. For example, in Assetto Corsa Competizione, when taking on some of the Nordschleif's long sweeping corners, or in F123 at the S-curves in Suzuka, you really have to lean on the wheel and the motor to gauge traction and decide when is the right time to accelerate. But when using the VelocityOne Race, you can lean on it at first, but you often get a natural burst of strong feedback that you just don't need in the middle of a corner, rather than a consistent level of feedback to lean on that gives you confidence in the car and able to pinpoint the exact moment to put your foot on the throttle. In saying that, it's important to highlight this product's very reasonable price point, and to be fair, I am comparing the quality of its force feedback against products that sport a higher price tag, and in some cases much higher. Overall then, the Turtle Beach VelocityOne Race boasts a compelling feature set and would be a worthwhile upgrade from an entry-level gear or belt-driven setup. However, it doesn't offer the high fidelity feedback you'd find in more premium direct drive options. And after a few weeks of testing, my concerns about the product's build quality remain. If you're looking for a comparatively cheap direct drive wheel and pedal bundle for Xbox and or PC, the VelocityOne Race is a decent option that offers a wide range of features at a reasonable price point. But if you already have a direct drive wheel or you're just looking for the best force feedback experience possible, there are better options on the market. just be prepared to part with a bit more cash. We give the Turtle Beach VelocityOne Race a 3 out of 5 here at Mirror Gaming. Let us know in the comment section down below if you agreed or disagreed with any elements of this review, or if the things that you feel I didn't bring up. Oh, look, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and get subscribed. We've got a lot more of really cool stuff coming up that you're not going to want to miss. But that's all from me. We'll see you in the next one.